let's be very clear. You know, I mean,
But you ain't supposed. But you ain't supposed to come into the woman house.
let's
Yeah,
be.
well, again, you supposed to come
Anyway.
into the marriage or the relationship. Like, again, thank you for that. You shouldn't be on here talking about I'm about to move.
If you got to come to this woman house, something wrong.
You ain't your
Getting back to your 16%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cheers.
You got your own. So like now, like I have a rule, and it's the number one rule. I don't care how many men be mad about it. I'm like, if I can't come to your house, you can't
come to mine.
So what that means, that cuts out the married, the ex baby mama sleeping with whoever you living with. That cuts out I live with my mama. That cuts out I live in my car. If
That's
I
how
don't,
you don't mean I'm gonna stay. I can come over.
So here we go. Here we go. 6 months again to vet the person you're with. You're not gonna go 6
Hey man, don't be
months
putting my
without
wife
going
into everything. Vet
to that
ain't doing nothing. Vet no person. Leave my vet. Vet stays with me. She vet, baby. They try to put you to work.
You're a vet.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry,
Vet for sure.
Vet ain't going to work for y'all.
I'm
First
sorry,
of all,
Vet.
Vet
That's
not
right.
going everywhere. All y'all doing.
But
Okay.
I say all
Sorry, Vet.
season, and when I say all season, it's not just a year. It's like going through everything. You know what I'm saying? Ups and downs and all that. You got to see how a person's going to react to all these different things. And again, I don't like to stick on aesthetics, but you know what I'm saying? If you're not attracted to your person,
Number
like
one.
you know, I had my friend was like, oh, it's okay to date the fat dude. I was like, I'm not attracted to fat.
But that gets the door open. The
I-
door
I
shouldn't even be
understand.
open.
I'm like, if I can't look at you and say
The door shouldn't even
I like what
open.
yeah.
The door shouldn't even
So
open.
you want me just to say because he's overweight, but he's a millionaire? I don't need no money.
What we call it now in
I don't
IT, what
need
is
no
it?
money.
The guard. That's the guardrail.
Yeah.
That's the guardrail. What's up, Chris?
This is interesting, right? So I've actually had my span of every type of woman. I actually have. From ugly to fat, ugly to fat, pretty.
Experimental. I have to.
I'm just being honest with you.
Before you finish that statement, as the woman, like I know you probably feel the same way. And when you in the relationship with somebody and you see the people they dated before, you be like, "Am I ugly? What do I look like? Because this is who was before. Like you was just all over.
But you haven't seen the full spectrum.
No, hell.
You gotta see the full
Let me say
spectrum of
something.
it.
We had a rule.
Yeah, no.
We had a rule. It's like if we ever go in a situation, it's gonna be somebody that we slept with before there. We gonna tell the other person. Man, this happened like 4 or 5 times with Chris. It didn't happen with me. But it's like run into a situation like I just want to let you know that it's probably gonna be such and I hooked up with him. And he said that way more times than me. And I was like, all right.
And should have.
And here we go. And I get there and I'm like, really?
And should have.
Every time I was like, really? What you doing?
I don't want to be blindsided, but she, by the way, it happened way more times with me than her. But the point is that when it happened with her, it was kind of like, oh, by the way, oh yeah, somebody's already here. By the way, I'm like, okay. So it was a little late though, a couple times. It was at least one good time where it was like,
no, if I didn't know and I, see somebody, you let your person know.
Yeah.
You don't want to ever.
Yeah,
I think the conversation was you don't ever want to be like the butt of a
Blindsided.
joke.
Yeah.
Like you see somebody and be like. I mean, even in this situation, like I think you messed with somebody that I was friends with, but that was after
the fact.
Yeah. So it just end up coming up like he posted on her page. I'm like, how you know her? He's like, oh yeah, I'm good at work. I'm like, okay, she's really a close friend of mine. But
I'm like, if I know her, you already know how.
Yeah, that's why I asked. Right. How we gonna approach this? But we've been good friends since years. But after that, so it's like it's not a problem. But it's like, oh, I see you. Do y'all know each other, whatever. But it's not a problem. But it's like you don't ever want to feel the butt of the joke, or if it's a secret or stuff like that. So I
just be
think
uncomfortable. It's like that weird, uncomfortable.
And
be honest.
And like when you go into a relationship, it's like, hey, look, let's be open
It's
about because. What I don't like if it's someone, and this has happened a lot, was like, why are you getting in a relationship with me at this age and you act like I'm a virgin?
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a past.
Like it's right.
I got whole kids.
Let's be honest now.
Well,
I got whole kids and you want to be in a situation like, I don't want to know about nothing. I don't want to da-da-da. That's a red flag.
That's an insecure person.
Yeah, that's a red flag. Like you got a problem with my
stop talking
passion.
about me.
That's an
That's not
insecure
fair.
person.
So no.
That wasn't you.
There was
I'm like, you got whole 5, 10 kids.
Listen.
Whole baby mama talking about
No ask, no tell. But
Hey,
listen,
man,
just don't let it come
leave
hit me in the
alone,
face.
Man. Why y'all talking about me like that? No, I'm just no. I did not do that, and there was a lot to say about that. It was what an experience, one, to sit with someone and obviously have a aha moment where you go like, duh. When it happens to you, then what happens? And if you both of you guys are doing it, then what happens? Safety. It's fair. The list is fair. The list is safe. The list is, man, when you go anywhere, you can walk with that person. You feel confident, and if you don't have that, then man, that's you. That's your decision. If anybody disagree with that list, it's like one thing. I would add, order to the list, but that's
What do
woman.
you mean about order?
I would say, for me personally, the Bible says first seek ye the kingdom of God and his righteousness.
Like I said,
So-
put it in like most of before.
So-
you said that.
So if you say
you're
God, then order already should be understood.
safe. Well, no.
In my opinion.
I mean, you said God first. She didn't say God
She didn't
first.
say God, but she said her list
That's
wasn't.
not true.
She said her list wasn't
No.
ordered.
The Bible says first seek ye the kingdom of God. So I'm talking about personally. So she did. Look, no. I'm not attacking. I'm saying she's first.
On the list though.
I'm just saying what the words say. Let me finish the scripture. Why are we fighting with this? He said, first seek ye the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added
Come on,
unto
come
you.
on.
So wait.
Your profile need to say, I believe in God, and then I'm gonna look up at your picture. That's
So-
what's gonna happen.
so
'Cause
wait,
that's
wait.
where we at now, because everything is about online dating and stuff. Or
It
if
is.
you meet somebody in the real world, the first thing you're gonna see is, am I attracted to that person?
That's correct.
I don't-
always. That's
listen.
always been the case. Though.
Listen, it's the dumbest thing ever.
And then be like, next question is, do you believe in God?
When the first time I ever saw you at Underground Atlanta, it was because you were beautiful,
yeah,
and that's dating us right there
Well, I
for
wasn't at
real.
Underground Atlanta,
You know.
but I'm saying it's
Dollar
the
store,
dumbest thing
dollar
ever.
store. Dollar store.
Everything's a
dollar
dollar.
store.
Listen.
There wasn't no Dollar Tree.
Everything's a dollar.
Dollar store.
The dumbest thing ever is to say that, oh well, I'm not attracted to them, but I'm gonna marry them. That's wow. Oh,
No,
so
because that's my point. It's like
you're married
it don't.
for the money.
Just like regular woman.
Because you're gonna disrespect
Sorry, bro,
that
if you in
person.
hell.
To me, it's like you're gonna disrespect that person. You're gonna not look at
You're
them
not
as
gonna treat
valuable.
them the
You're not
same.
gonna look at them as your equal. It don't matter how much money they make. You're gonna like if you, especially women that go in a situation, no, he's old or he's this, he's unattractive, so he better be glad he's with me. So you're going to
It's
just
unnecessary.
disrespect that
It's
person.
an unnecessary obstacle.
Yeah,
Here's the thing.
you're going to
Here's
disrespect
the-
that person
here's the
for
thing.
whatever you're going to do.
Here's the
whatever
thing.
you're gonna get out of
It's foolish for you to marry someone that you're not attracted to. It's even more foolish to date
And the-
someone that you're
and
not
the book
attracted
of
to. It is
Proverbs speaks a lot on
abusive.
foolishness.
I would tell you, it is probably the most abusive thing you can do to a person's mentality to spend time with them if you're not attracted to them.
The book of Proverbs speaks a lot on foolishness.
Of course. And,
You
and it
know?
also says, look, don't argue with fools. So if you can't argue with me on this thing.
Not cast your pearls among swine.
That's it. There's another one. So I cannot even begin to argue with you, or I'm not even gonna say. Honestly, if you want to bring this up and put in her comments, I'm glad this is her podcast. You bring it over to me. Hey, you can go to couplesreactionchannel.com, whatever. I promise you won't be able to pull that up. But we do got something coming up. But at the same time, this is not something you're going to argue with me, but I'm not going to go back and forth with you about. It's
I
the
really feel
dumbest
like
thing
we need
ever
to
for
go
you.
back to and again, there's a lot of people now because there's so many things going, and this is a whole nother subject about this whole thing about us being sheeps because of the Bible and this, that, and the third. And how I feel about the Bible is, of course, it's written by man, and so of course it's flawed. But you know what? You
Agreed.
chew the fish and you spit out the bones.
Mhm.
There's a lot of life lessons that's in there. So to say, oh, because this person worked or King James was this or that, and you're using all these excuses and say because somebody else told you this. Well, it sounds like you're the sheep too because you're following somebody else who you don't even know. And where do they get their information for? And what research do they do? But I feel like the Bible is the basis. It's, and a lot of people want to bring up, oh, the Old Testament. I said, again, it's a story. It's telling stuff and it's how things had changed. So what they had so many wives and they're telling the story how when Jesus came, these things were done away with. That's what you're not getting. So as far as relationships and things like that, when I say I'm going off a biblical principle, not because you're Instagram famous or social media famous and I'm gonna twerk and shake my ass and I'm still gonna get a husband, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make my money and say F you and whatever y'all doing. We cannot come together if we're not understanding the other side.
Right.
We have to understand that we need each other.
Yeah.
We need each other. So you have to love, you have to compromise, you have to do all these things. And again, you got to have your list of, hey, like I said, my list is based on these are the things I need to keep me the best version of me.
You know what I find is very interesting about is most people attack the word of God, but the truth is charities. I don't think they actually read it, and I don't think they read it for themselves because there are some beautiful
They
love
just snip
stories. There are so many beautiful love stories, and I should say so many, but there was definitely love stories in there that are beautiful. Jesus' love for.
And a lot of women from the Bible. I'll say that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't talk about a
Well,
lot
of
of
course,
women.
there's
But
let's just be very clear. First, no one can document everybody in history in during that time because it's not possible. That's why cameras are here right now, so people can document themselves, and we can also see on TikTok how many crazy people are in the world. So some people shouldn't document themselves, but anyway, but I really do. The story of Jacob and Rachel, I think that is one of the most beautiful love stories I've ever heard in the Bible, and it's just amazing, and it's treachery. Literally, Rachel and Leah's father, Laban, is a terrible person. This man worked 7 years for Rachel, the daughter. You sold off your other daughter and then tricked them. And then Rachel had to go sit there quietly, party Russell somewhere while her sister marries the man that worked 7 years. I mean, treacherous. Oh, is it, oh, this is what God, no, the Bible was documenting history, a story. It doesn't mean that God backed up Jacob, God backed up Laban, God backed up Rachel or Leah. He was documenting history. And what a love of the type of man that's out there. Yes, we had the Solomons, we had the Davids, we had the Joshuas.
All flawed.
Yes, we had them. Everybody was flawed. Yes,
Definitely did.
yes, all is doing. And then you
Definitely
still look
did.
at yourself
Definitely
and you
did.
look at yourself still to this day and you imagine, am I still this man? No, I'm not quite a David. No, I'm definitely not a Samson, but I may be a Joshua if I had the right war to fight for. Or for sure, I may be that Jacob. I may have worked 7 years for a woman that I could never get. I really could be that person.
In your lifespan, how do
Yeah,
you
and that-
grow? How do you evolve?
I think-
Like they did.
I think that
a lot of
list.
people not even thinking of marriage right now. And it's like,
true.
and again, it's like they're going through their 20s and 30s because they think they got time. And then they get to their 40s and 50s, like, oh, now that I done did it all and done all this stuff and I broke my stuff all down, I'm like, I just need somebody to take care of me.
I don't think that broke down thing is. I think I think that right there is the enemy because
But like I said, if your balls are down to your knees and you're
well, I mean,
you know, work yourself to
So-
death where you're like, all right, baby, I'm ready for marriage. A lot of women looking at this like, dude, you don't play.
I'm wore out now.
Now you want to be with somebody? Like, what are we doing?
hey, so shout out to all the silver hairs and gray hairs out there. Look, we are eternal. I don't care what nobody say. This is right here is beard dye, but trust me. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, we're eternal. So guess what? Let them drop and let them sag. But I promise you, the bodies drop in this earth. But guess what? They
Just
won't
go get
stop
just
in
go
the
get
next
you
world
some of them
to come.
corner store pills though to help.
What did you learn? The whole thing is
You
what
gotta-
did you learn? What did you learn as you age?
But
That's
I'm
what
saying, we got to compromise. So the list, like I said, it might be 16 things on my list, 5, 10 things on your list. But it's like, okay, if I have these major things, can I just be with somebody for the rest of my life? That's at this point. And like, I think we've gone so far away from actually looking for sustainable relationships.
Sustainable.
Can I honestly share something with you? And my dad told me about, we didn't, we didn't speak about the list thing, but it was something that, I think I probably had, that whole thought. Well, one, if she, and she'll tell you, I mean, I wanted the both for both. Like I want a stunning woman that when I walk in when I like to catch my eye, the eye catch that one that pop like, wow, oh shoot, look at the most baddest girl in the room, no matter where she at.
Yeah.
And honestly,
every
in
man.
my opinion, I've had that. It doesn't matter if that's where we was when we were dating or that's after we got married. When we didn't marry, oh, we've been 6 years, you still think, yeah, of course I do. What are you talking about? Like, you the baddest girl? Why? Because 90% of the time she was. But if there was one, it was like still the baddest one because I know her heart.
Yeah, exactly. It's not,
I know her
it's
heart,
not
so it
about
didn't
the
even
aesthetic
matter if
part.
she was more attractive.
Yeah.
That's this girl over here. It doesn't even matter. I wouldn't even want to get to know her.
Yeah, you're not gonna look. You're gonna have those blinders, and that's why I tell people all the time. When I'm in a relationship, I don't see nobody else but my person.
Yeah.
And who I'm in a relationship with. But once it starts, and when I get to the point where like I start noticing all of a sudden, I go to my person and say, hey, look, we need to have
Something is going on.
something's off with us.
Yeah.
I'm not going
She
to
said
follow
that.
that. I'm not going to follow that and say, oh, let me go over here. No, I'm coming right back to my person. Oh, my blinders have been removed. So we need to have a talk in our relationship and see what's going on. How can I put those blinders back on? And, it don't matter who everybody think is fine or this or that. And like, no, this is my fine because the aesthetics was there and everything else was there too. Because like I said, you can be the best looking man, if you act nasty, you're gonna start looking nasty. I'm gonna see it's a demon face that comes up, and it's no lie. It's just a different person that shows up whenever you talk to me. So it don't matter how do you think everybody want me and blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, well that's what got you here. What's gonna keep you here? You know. So once those blinders come down, we having a conversation. Either we're gonna move forward in the relationship or the relationship is over.
Now, just
and a lot of people don't even do that because they're so broke right now.
Not just aesthetic.
Now, these bills paid over here.
Aesthetically speaking, if I don't have other guys trying to look at and want to holler at and looking at my woman, I feel like something wrong.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So something's wrong there.
So I'm glad you said that because I'm glad you said it.
Like what the hell I'm doing here? Let's be for real.
Cover you up. You can't do nothing. I'm like, yo, dude. I'm like,
you know, I have a very fondness in my heart for someone at this moment, and it's just like, listen. I ain't who you were with. Who
put that on.
They were insecure about. Nah, throw that on. Yeah, let me see it. Let that thing go pow.
Hey,
you know,
Patrick. Now you talking. Hey, Patrick, listen. Now you talking. Hey, look. If you walk out the house and you walk in the house, you got the little bun on and
Yeah.
Your little thing. And first of all, I'm like, you ain't walking the house. Like, take that thing off, put the hair on.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Do your hair. Stop that.
Yeah.
But you walk out the house, you're like, even if I walk out the house and I got, people looking at me and I just put a t-shirt on, I got little jogging pants on and they just hitting them. I just tired of me. I'm like, oh, so you got pretty girl problem.
Okay, then. That's
one thing he said
love it.
What was it? Something you said that was like, it was important. Like, oh, that's what he said. Do you want me to look at other women? It's like, why would you not be the only thing I want to look at?
Exactly.
Why would you go out looking like this and give me the opportunity to look like, why am I not wearing that? Why is she not this?
It's almost like you just said. If I get to the point where, like you say, tunnel vision, when I get to the point where that blinders are off and now I'm not in my lane and I'm over here and I'm over there, like you said, people who are highly, highly motivated and far beyond other people, it's because you have tunnel vision. It's because you stay in your lane.
Yeah.
If I'm running a race, I'm not looking over here or looking over there. Flojo ran past everybody. Yeah. I don't see nobody anyway if I'm running as fast as I should be.
Put on that lingerie. Just stop saying that he okay with you.
Man, do it up.
Hey, Patrick.
Hook it up.
Hey, Patrick.
Yes, sir.
Wear that bodycon dress, that body.
Put it all on.
Whatever. And if he got a problem with it,
no, pull it up. Show that the moose knuckles.
Look, if he got a problem with it, he don't want to be. But it's one thing to say you're dressing for your man and dressing for everybody else.
Yeah.
So that's the different thing.
It's okay to dress for your right.
The last dude was like, I'm gonna cover everything, just don't have your ass cheeks hanging out. I'm like, I'll never do that. But he was like, yeah.
I mean, there are limits to it.
I will say there is limits because I know we just talking about going on cruises, whatever. He's like, well, yeah, if it's a cruise and we ain't there with family, then you can wear like, if you want to wear a thong or something like that, you can wear it. But I'm not comfortable just being.
You got your own limits. You know what I'm saying?
Looking like,
I don't want no problem. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna
lie. Is that a swinging?
In my second marriage, my first husband, we got married in Jamaica, and we was there 2 days before the people that we had to come there. They had an island that you take a boat out to the island, and when you get at the top of the island, everybody had to take their clothes off. I was like, hey, you want to try this or whatever? And he was like, totally like, no.
Hedonism.
But I was like, my thought process was like, well, we're black, they're white. I know, is it about you being naked? Because I know you gonna outweigh everybody else. It's about you being naked or about me being naked? And he was like, when he said it was about you, I said, okay, cool. We don't have to do that. But my thought was like, we don't know anybody out here. This is an experience. So I'm like,
so it doesn't matter.
It's like, that's what like,
I don't know you. When we leave this beach and leave Jamaica,
our people don't come till
back to our world.
But it was one of those things like, if you okay with it, I'm okay with it. If he say he's not okay with it, I'm not doing it.
Right.
It was always
compromise.
It's always a conversation. Are you? And I'm telling you, my marriage is like, are you okay with this outfit? Yes. No. Okay, I'm changing.
That's the inter part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It ain't dependence. It's just communication, work.
Says on that whole thing is, and this is for all my wives. I go back to the original intent. And even when the devil's talking, and I promise you he does, and attack, I'm a Christian. Will you say this in front of the church? Yes, I would. I just don't want to. Will you say it with the pastor in tow? I will. If
Because
he,
God knows.
yeah, because of course I stand before him, bro. I got nothing. But am I gonna do this? I don't want to be a stumbling block just in case you ain't learned this. I understand, but you ain't read it that far. Because all you read is what the pastor told you to read and everything. Oh, turning me, and the most you read the Bible is when he was on the screen. So that's you. But for me reading about, I'm going back to original intent. We were butt naked in Garden of Eden when the snakes whispered into both of their ears, technically through Eve to Adam, and that's what they did. Now they're like, oh, we naked. No, they ate the fruit. Yes, no, but it was more so the thought of you are naked.
Because they got out of order.
What? Something wrong with me being naked?
It's that order. They got out of order.
It's a lot
He
of countries
followed
that
And you
understand
ask
that, but
you
lead
ask
of her.
yourself a magnificent question. Let us make man in our image after our what would clothe God?
now I don't want to be just out here butt naked.
But I get that. No, you said, but no, your awareness of that though. Your awareness is
That's what they doing now. They just out there butt
Yeah,
naked.
But are they?
Bucket naked.
But
not
again,
doing
The
but
less the better.
It's sophistically sexy is what I call what I do. It's sophistically
isn't it interesting that the sin that casted them out of the garden was the awareness of nakedness, and the sin that's taking them to hell is actual nakedness.
Is nakedness.
Weird.
And the awareness of nakedness.
Right.
Because they are aware that they are naked.
And if they stop and don't care, like I do with my wife, like it don't matter what you wear. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. It don't matter. Naked, butt naked, man. Shut up. We can. Well, if you want, let's go. Come on, shut up, man. Skip this.
The difference then is now
Know who you are and
when
walk with God with that.
When they became aware of the nakedness in the Garden of Eden, it was not a good thing. It was shame to
whom?
it. You know, to them. They were hiding. They were, I mean, to the people there.
That's
The
it.
two.
That's
But
it. No.
Nowadays,
That is true
Nowadays,
to the animals looking,
That's
because
all.
at that time it
But-
was just God,
and them.
Adam, and Eve.
But nowadays, the awareness of nakedness is a badge of honor.
And the animals
is
are going
no,
like,
you
you
know,
don't have
a lot
fur.
of other cultures, like in African culture, it was no thing. Just
And
do
God
that.
killed the animal
it
and
was
dressed
over here
Adam and
in
Eve. I gotta
America,
go.
where it's like,
Clothes.
everything is taboo. But
But they
countries understand.
didn't do it in a manner that was perverted.
Yeah.
Like I say, it was just a naturalness to it. It wasn't a perversion to
I
it.
know many
Now it's done.
National Geographic magazines I've seen.
Now it's done in a manner of perversion.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
again, the list is about what you need to make you feel comfortable. Like a lot of men are overly insecure or overly sassy.
Mhm.
As y'all say, everything is sassy now. We need to get back to the root of all things. Like, I mean, I understand economy is bad and all that stuff, but I don't want no man coming to me
Yeah, no
talking
doubt.
about how much money you got. Can we live together? Can I move in with you? Da da da. I'm like, at this age, sir.
Then you go to put them X's on your list.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I'm going through them really quick, and because I'm like, no, I don't want the last situation that I had. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be. I want to support. I can't have you coming in with already saying I need your help. It's one thing if you're in a marriage, and like I said, the husband is the leader. He's a provider. He's a protector. And in some situations, as the wife, we do have to step up if he cannot. That's not our permanent role.
Right.
But we're in a position where we can step up if necessary.
And you vow to do so.
And you know, and in certain hospitals, and again, also in a marriage, you also have to understand where I'm strong at and where I'm strong at as each spouse. And that does not take away from your leadership as a husband. If my wife is better in the finances, let her do the finances. But you know what I'm saying? I'm bringing the money in. I'm doing what I need to do. She's going to make sure all the bills get paid.
Merger.
Again, so it's like, it's not about this a control thing or whatever, but nowadays it's like men are talking about 50-50, and I'm at the point now where, you know what, I put a lot of work in, you know what I'm saying? I pay for date nights and vacation. You pay the bills. I don't waste a lot of energy. I don't waste. I don't need Gucci product. I get my nails done every 6 weeks or 2 months, 3 months, or whatever the case may be. So it don't cost that much to add me to your life, because I'm gonna provide too. I'm gonna bring something to the table too. I'm gonna bring what you need to do. If you are the provider, I'm gonna make sure you're gonna be able to provide. So, and that's what a woman is supposed to do. I'm going to make sure you're able to provide. If you're at an age where you're trying to have kids and all that, it looks different from my age. Like I said, I'm an empty nester. I don't want you coming to me with 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds and 8-year-olds.
Fatal flaw. That's all it is.
I said teenagers, but them teenagers be acting the up. I don't even know about the 16-year-olds anymore. They be
literally.
acting up.
If you don't almost have a kid that's about to be out the house, then it's a
Yeah.
no-go already.
Like, you know, my stepfather was
It's a
right
no-go.
when he married my
No-go.
mama when I was in my senior year. My brother was in his junior year. He was like, all right, well, you
Yeah,
got about 2 years.
they bought out of here.
You know, about
Yeah.
2 years and about to be just me and her.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Perfect time.
Respect to him.
I liked him too.
Rest in
Great
peace.
guy.
You know what I'm saying?
And-
So he was like, okay, I'm married this woman. We got these teenagers, whatever. My kids our kids around the same age. Okay, they're about to be out, and I'm about to be with this woman. You know, until he passed away. So, but you know, he took care of my mom, and it's like when you get to a certain age, it's like, okay, I don't want. I tell if all these things are going well on this list, I'm like, okay, I'm not having no more babies with you, but I'm gonna love your kids like they on. All right, do they live with their mama though? What's the custody arrangement? They're gonna be in the house with us or whatever. And that's not
Age matters.
Again,
Age
that's
matters.
at the age I'm at now.
It matters.
20s and 30s is different. At the age I'm at now, it's like, yeah, no, I'm at the point where I want to move into what am I gonna do to retirement? Where are we gonna travel to next? Where are we gonna da 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 da?
So
Growth and
So-
evolution. Like I said on mine, motivated, but that changes with time.
Yeah.
What we were motivated to do back in our 20s, we should be motivated to do something different now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah.
So can
I
we
could
go
deal
back to
with
this
you with
whole
a smaller
happy
kid.
wife,
Now
happy
I
life
can't.
thing?
No, we can't. I want you to wrap it up. You give your final thoughts on the list.
I'm just going on the list. The
generic list.
This is actually my list. I actually do have a list, but it's just way too long to read. You know, but we're not going to do that. But
Hit your main points.
my main point,
Godfrey.
the Bible says one thing that I found in my life as my man down there, Patrick. It's the first time, second time probably meeting, but actually officially for real meeting, really
Right.
actually being able to sit beside and talk, other than just in passing.
Right.
Is actually for real. What I've learned now at 45 years old, going on
46.
46.
I don't know how to count.
No,
You're so good at math.
I'm young at heart.
I remember one time
I'm really a child in a man's
we
body.
went somewhere and
Digress.
somebody thought that I was his daughter, and I was just like, I don't know.
Hey, look,
Wow.
shout out to all you guys that are blind out there, but you know, because my voice is so, and I'm so tall and everything, you know what I'm saying? Well, whatever.
5'12". 5'12" in the house.
Yeah. Shout out to all the visually impaired people out there. We love y'all. Salute to y'all. But
Exactly.
no, when it says first seeking, I promise all the lists are amazing. You know, so I would say would be in closing, but you know, this is your show. But for my final thoughts would be like, what would be successful? First seeking the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. And then the next one is really important. Acknowledge me in all thy ways, and I will direct your path. Which means that, man, this world is so vast, so big. How do you expect to navigate it all by yourself? Man, God is so good, man. I promise you He will do that. So if you are actually truly looking for a good woman, and he that finds a wife finds a good thing, but also, you know, the other part of it is very, 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 very important. God will tell you and show you to your one. You know, your one at that time. Because my one at that time, man, I was really mad at God when He took her from me. But guess what? I did find a lovely person along the way. And yes, our ship passed and bumped paint and everything. And we exchanged ship, cargo ships. We move, baby. You know what I'm saying? We are really movers and shakers, you know, in our own lives and our own regard, and especially in the kingdom. And we really did exchange paint, and yeah, we clicked up and we went in the same direction for a very long time. And we have been going in the same direction the same way, but you know, just different ports. That's all it is. It's really nothing that deep. It's if you really want to really, really do exchange love with one another, man, first seek God. God's going to actually protect you during that time and that season. And I promise you, He'll direct you to the right person every time. Because I got my baby boo out here. And she's the sweetest thing. And in fairness, she said something. She said, hey, listen, I'm just not that woman for you. And that was fair. You know, and I honor you for saying that, because it was very true. I wanted her to be something that she wasn't. You know, and it wasn't a list thing. It was that she just knew me. She knew I needed someone a little bit more sensitive than she was at that time. And I think that that's fair, because you don't know, it could be that person, they could be on that journey, they could be going in that direction, but they're just not there yet. And they know that you're far more advanced than they are, and they will just let you go because they love you. And love is way more complicated than what we try to make it, and way, way, way more simple than what we try to make it as well. I think that's what it counts.
Mm. Hmm.
I mean, as everybody's been saying, as far as the list, which I had my list written out, but anyways, but just a lot of the topics that we've been talking about, I totally agree with. Everybody's, things, which is the same things I'm for, in a relationship, and if you got to deviate away from the list at times, then do so. You know what I mean? Like if you have to eliminate some of the things on your list because God might not have that for you, then do that. You know what I mean? So. I don't know. Just go with what God has for you as far as that person or whoever it is you're supposed to be with in life. But just live life to the fullest. That's all I got to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, Trick. That used to be her little. It was her nickname for me. Trick. Patrick.
Wow.
Patrick. She just took the second part.
Okay. I'm like,
But
damn, Charity.
the reason was, again, I alluded to it earlier. Back then, my list was different. She wasn't on my list because she was above the list. She was, my person at that moment in my life. But I had another list, and my list was all about
Hitting and quitting.
And just running through them and running through them. And she found that list, and we laughed about that list. So the list now, though. So here's that growth. Here's that evolution. Here's where you come from 20 years old to now I'm 51 years old. So you move to a point to where, my list there's always a mental list with a bunch of people. We put it on paper because it was the topic. So it's on paper. So we all have these things that move in our head of what we want and what we don't want. To really surmise it a little more than even this, God. The Most High God is always at the top. The Most High God is always at the top. So, trust in God, be true to God always, number one. Then be true to yourself. Be true to yourself and what you like and what you want, the aesthetics of it, the whatevers of it, to what you can deal with, to what you can't. There you go. Number two, self. After that, give yourself time. Time. So a lot of things, so I can push it down to those three things. Be true to God, be true to self, and then give it time. And then that way you can learn whom it is that you're with, or whom it is that the person that's in front of you is the person that fits the things that are within your mind state of what you want in your mental list, your internal list. That's always there. So once you can kind of get those three things in check, then I think it can all come together.
Can I circle back to it quick? Because that's true. That's pretty cool what he just said. Is it possible that some people are maybe going through a season where God's like, yo, I want to have a relationship with you, just you and me?
Very much. In my opinion, I say my solitude is one of my most favorite things now to this day. I used to say once I really get married long term, I haven't spoken on mine. I've had 2 very short marriages with my last 2 kids. I have 3. Mothers, very short marriage. I wasn't ready, wasn't nowhere near ready, and I can tell you that. So at the heart of it, I was the problem, but I've always loved my solitude. I used to say I need a house with one big enough to where some days for 2 or 3 days you stay on that side and I'm gonna stay on this side, and let's get lost and da 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 da.
You think it could be possible that you could be in love with yourself?
You know what? No, I grew out of that. I used to have an arrogance about myself years ago, but I've always been humble with humility. Be humble as I am, said the Lord, that thy load may be light, right?
Do you think you're in love with yourself? That's why your list is so long?
I'm going to close this out in a minute.
And so, I'm pretty much done with mine. It comes down to those 3 things for me.
Well, what I was going to say is, bottom line is, you have to love yourself first. Understand yourself first. You have to go through a season of spending time with just you. So I'm in a season where I enjoy my time to myself. So when you create these lists and decide on what you're looking for, you gotta make sure that, again, God is first. You know what's, and a lot of y'all don't believe, and y'all have these different notions or whatever. But when you make these lists, you have to be realistic with who you are and what you want. So if you're making these superficial lists because you just need someone to take care of you, you need to let that other person know. And I feel it's always important, again, you have to go through a season, because we always say men, they find somebody before they let the next person go because they can't be alone. Women spend a little bit more time by themselves before they move into the next relationship, because they have to heal first, and they want to heal in solitude. So I believe healing is important between relationships. I believe spending time to yourself and be comfortable with yourself, because that way when you have that list, you're going to stick to that list because you know your worth. So don't be unrealistic with your list, and don't be
Yeah.
unrealistic, and don't lie to the other person,
I'm gonna
because
need a
one thing I
billionaire
will
with a
always
jet.
say, every relationship I get into, or every dating situation I get into, I tell them who I am up front. I don't send a representative. I mean, anybody will tell you that has tried to date me, I put it all out on the table. This is who I am. If you think you're going to change that, good luck with you. But I'm letting you know what you're walking into. And I'm very upfront and honest about that. So if you lead with your best foot forward, it's always somebody for everybody. You don't have to lie. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to be superficial. You don't have to put on filters. Just be who you are, because you want them person to know that this is who they're dealing with in the end. So this is a great conversation. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
man, don't put on those mascara filters with the lipstick stuff, man. Even when they
Yeah.
try to put you in, join, man, don't join them with the lipstick
Especially
stuff.
with men in the filters, guys. Stop
Yeah,
with the
that's-
filters.
that's
That's
weird,
just
bro.
crazy. Like,
Y'all
men with
weirdos for that,
filters,
man.
I automatically say no to that. You're
Stop
a
with the
man.
contouring of your
And
face,
then try
homie.
to say women do X, Y, Z. Are you a woman? Stop
Right.
trying to be equal to us. You got to be the provider, the protector. Stop being our equal. You got to be,
No.
you know, you got to lead us.
There's an order.
Hey,
Keep it
look,
in the
man.
order of
Hey,
God.
man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, go back to chopping wood. You feel me?
So that's all we got for today. And again, date my friend, or my ex. So if you got somebody that's horrible at dating and can't find a date, and you want to hook them up with somebody, submit them to our contest that we're doing, not contest, but the show that we're doing on Date My Friend. Link is down there, and we guys will see you next time on Linguistic Lit.
Cheers.
Yeah.